guys, how are you all? Today I wanted to give you another first impressions vlog on one of the new series that's currently airing in the summer anime season. Gangsta is typically completely out of my comfortable genre range. I mentioned Gangsta briefly in my summer previews vlog, and I watched it first because it was just the first thing out. I actually really enjoy Gangsta because I feel like it has a really different atmosphere from what I'm used to in the fantasy, comedy, shonen, and shoujo world. Gangsta takes place in a city called Ergastulum, which is the shadiest town ever. It's divided into districts and basically ruled by gangs. So the police try to keep order, but mostly all of the power is maintained by gang relations and gang fights. You can kind of imagine what kind of violent story is going to be told in this setup. The main characters are part of a duo called Benria. The online subbers have generally translated Benria as handyman. They're two guys, Warwick and Nicholas, who are basically mercenaries, and they just take odd jobs and kind of help keep the peace within the city. Once in a while they work with the police, and they're pretty menacing people when you meet them in the fights and when they're on a job, but they're actually pretty nice behind the scenes, I think. In the first 2 episodes of Gangster, we learn a few things about the world. We learn what Benria does, how they function, how they operate, who they work with, who they detest, and they kind of work on their own system of morals. Clearly they don't subscribe to any sort of like power hierarchy when it comes to gangs, but they run by their own system, and because they are both such skilled fighters, they can pretty much do whatever they want. After the first episode, they end up saving one of the girls that are left behind in one of the missions, and they take her in because one of the members of Benria, Nicholas, is actually a little bit deaf, so he can't fully speak properly. As a result, he's not very good at like taking calls at the office. Alex is brought in, and she is the newcomer. We learn a lot from the story through her eyes because she's mostly asking questions about how the city works because she's not from the city. The second episode eases us deeper into the world, and we get a hint of why there are so many very powerful fighters in the city. So within the city, there are people called tags, and tags are basically hired mercenaries. Similar to Benria, but Warwick is not a tag, Nicholas is a tag. So through your basic definition, a dog tag is used to identify a soldier who has been deceased in battle. Sometimes the fighting gets really rough and you can't identify body parts or faces. So the dog tag helps to identify the name, the blood type, the regiment that the soldier's from, all these little details, so that the family will have something to memorialize him with. In this particular setup, the dog tag is actually some sort of like secret ranking system. You get this kind of sense that the dog tags are used as markers to identify the hierarchy of strength and power within the mercenaries themselves. Tags are kind of these heroicized, almost mythical fighters because they're so skilled and so ruthless. Throughout the second episode, Alex ends up meeting a little girl named Nina, who is a nurse trainee working at Theo's clinic. Alex starts to notice that Nicholas and Warwick actually have kind of a soft spot for Nina, or like certain individuals that they're particularly close with. And so Alex kind of questions her, like, do you not think that Nicholas is scary? Nina gives Alex an almost sympathetic expression, and this kind of ties in with Nicholas's backstory as well as where the tags come from. So you guys can keep on watching to figure out how this works. A lot of different gangs and gang bosses will hire tags to do their dirty work for them. Sometimes they're not as strong because they're ranked. There's different pairings of letters and numbers depending on what rank you are. I think this setup is really cool. It gives the gangster world order a bit more complexity because you have more power struggles in there. So I actually found this quite interesting in Gangster. I haven't decided whether or not I'm gonna review Gangster on a weekly basis on my blog, but I'm definitely gonna follow the series throughout the season. For those of you guys or girls who have tastes that align a lot with mine, fantasy, shoujo, romance, comedy, none of that is in Gangster. Gangster is a very mature, serious, dramatic, violent series. And if you're not comfortable with content like drugs or sex or just like heavy, gory violence, or if you're not comfortable with like moral discussions regarding these kind of topics or themes, you might want to stray away from Gangster. However, if you're looking for just like an action series to check out, I think Gangster is pretty packed for that. As well, the art style for Gangster works really well with the story. I'm not usually a fan of very mature art styles and character designs, but I actually find these characters quite easy on the eyes and really pleasant to follow. Also, one of the biggest factors for me sticking with this show is how fantastic the cast is. Warwick and Nicholas are voiced by 2 of the most amazing voice actors out there. Warwick is voiced by Junichi Suwabe, who we heard as Archer from Fate Stay Night and Ren Jinguji from Uta no Prince-sama. Tsuda Ken, I believe, was in so many other series. I remember him from K-Project, and they're both just stunning. They have very low voices. They're amazing with acting. I think they really bring the story alive, and they really bring out the characters' nuances. I wouldn't like the characters as much if the acting wasn't as on point, so I really think the cast is one of the really big reasons why you should check out this show. Other than that, I've been kind of looking into the manga, and things do pick up a lot because Benria get into some pretty messy business. anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this anime first impressions. I'm waiting for anime series to come out with at least 2 or 3 episodes before I give my first impressions. I don't think there's enough material just in one episode, unless the first episode is really stunning for me. More first impression series are going to be coming very soon, and this Monday, Manga Mondays will be back for some of you guys who are looking forward to that. Don't forget to hit like or subscribe for more from me, and until then, I hope you guys are well, and I will talk to you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!